The following episode of The Kingdom of Isolation contains footage from the film being discussed. The footage is used solely for the purposes of education, commentary, and criticism under fair use. Please support the animators by watching this film on Disney Plus or home media where available. This episode also contains spoilers throughout.
We have our heading. Here we go! From the magic within our hearts to the adventure beyond the horizon, there is only one Kingdom of Isolation. Hello Disney fans, and welcome to this year's Thanksgiving special for the Kingdom of Isolation, where in times of trouble, why not celebrate the magic of Disney this Thanksgiving season? I am aware I am a couple of days behind, and I'm a little bit behind schedule once again. But the problem with that is, weather's getting colder, it's aggravating my asthma more, so I'm having to slow things down just a little bit. But still, we're going to be here, keeping you entertained right through until the year's end, where we will have every Disney Toon Studios film covered. I promise you that. It will happen. We will have every film covered by the year end of the year. So, regardless, as the air turns crisp and the world settles into that quiet pause before winter, it feels only fitting that we turn to a film woven with warmth, memory, and quiet acts of kindness. We're looking at Winnie the Pooh, Seasons of Giving, released direct-to-video in 1999, just in time for the Thanksgiving season. This little anthology isn't labeled as a Thanksgiving special, but in so many ways, it captures the spirit of the season better than anything with a turkey in it. It's a reminder that giving isn't always grand or ceremonial. Sometimes it's the small moments, the ones we almost miss. A friend showing up when we feel uncertain, a community gathering around someone who's struggling, the shared understanding that even the simplest gestures can mean everything. In The 100 Acre Wood, gratitude isn't spoken as much as it is lived. Pooh's earnest heart, Piglet's quiet bravery, Rabbit's determined care, and all the gentle imperfections that make these characters who they are, together, they build a world where no one has to face anything alone. And during a season that asks us to slow down, to reflect, and to cherish the people who make our lives feel full, that message feels especially tender. So whether you're cooking, traveling, or just taking a rare quiet moment for yourself, let's step into that world for a little while. A world where the leaves fall softly, where friends gather without needing a reason, and where the seasons of giving last far longer than a single holiday. Now this, much like Pooh's Heffalump movie, I had a lot of difficulty sourcing, but I got there in the end, even if it meant having to source a physical copy just for this episode and then trade it back into CEX later down the road. This is a significant milestone in the franchise because
it's him again!
It was the first time that Tigger was voiced by Disney legend Jim Cummings. After Paul Winchell retired from voicing the role that he had since 1967 in the Oscar-winning Winnie the Pooh and the Blustery Day. So this was the time that Jim Cummings took over voicing Tigger full-time. And other than that, basically no behind-the-scenes information on the film other than the cast and composers. Now, I'm just going to get this out of the way right now. I am not a fan of the mega cheap CG intro we have. What happened to having an actual live-action bedroom? At least we get the Winnie the Pooh theme provided once more by the Sherman Brothers. The narrator this time around is Laurie Main, who is no stranger to the Pooh franchise, as he was the narrator for Welcome to Pooh Corner in the 80s on the Disney Channel. We get straight into the next song, as well as clips from previous Pooh adventures, including Honey Tree, Blustery Day, and Pooh's Grand Adventure. All of those, plus all the adventures from Winnie the Pooh so far, you can hear my thoughts on in the top right of your screens. Tigger is going skiing in the 100 Acre Wood to try and break a record.
But Tigger, how can you ski
when there's no snow?
And actually, yeah, that's a valid point. Pooh's not much help, as his watch has stopped. What doesn't help that is the fact that there's no hands on said watch. Now, Stephen, this is an interesting thing with the cast, so bear with me. I hope it all makes sense. Steve Schatzberg is voicing Piglet this time around for the new material that was made for this film, while John Fiedler provided the voice through the archive footage, that being the 2 episodes that were used to create this film, that being Ground Piglet Day and Find Her, Keep Her, both of which from the New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh TV show. And the same goes with Hal Smith as Owl, Laura Mooney as Kessie, Tim Hoskins as Christopher Robin, Paul Winchell as Tigger, and Peter Cullen as Eeyore. Disney legend Jim Cummings, we've already covered as Pooh and Tigger for the new segments. Ken Sansom as Rabbit, Brady Bloom as Christopher Robin, Greg Berger as Eeyore, Amber Hood as Kessie, Nikita Hopkins as Roo, Tress McNeil as Kanga, Andrei Stojka as Owl, and Michael Goff as Gopher. Cast out of the way, helping the Sherman Brothers with the music this time around is Michael and Patty Silvershire, who are often credited as Silvershire and Silvershire. Make it out what you will. And they've also worked alongside Jim Henson on a number of his production company's projects, most notably The Muppets. Now, in this episode, Ground Piglet Day, Rabbit's cleaning his house only for Tigger, Piglet, and Pooh to undo all his hard work. They then ask Rabbit when the snow will start falling, since he's the only one with a calendar.
Today is Groundhog Day. Groundhog Day?
Groundhog Day?
Groundhog Day?
Oh, it's Groundhog Day. What's a Groundhog Day?
Oh, it's a wonderful film released in 1993 starring Bill Murray, who has to relive the same day over and over again, February 2nd. Or we can just go back to the Bambi 2 episode to show what Groundhog Day actually is and how that actually works. Now, everyone starts panicking over the fact that they missed winter, failing to realize that 3 months of the calendar were blown off when our trio came into Rabbit's house. They go to Gopher, who's not happy about being mistaken for a groundhog. They really love making Gopher suffer with these falls, don't they? And guess who has to dress up as a groundhog? Seriously, Rabbit, just leave Piglet alone, please. All you're doing is giving more and more reasons to absolutely hate you. They think winter's over, not realizing Piglet can't actually see anything.
And I suppose they should be. After all, I did tell them winter was over.
And there's the snow. And that's a portion of Rabbit's crops ruined. Rabbit tears into Piglet as a result.
And it's all your fault.
Ugh, honestly, Rabbit, you were too stupid to check where the rest of the calendar was. You're supposed to be the smart one of the group, but once again, you have demonstrated you have the zero IQ of the useless Canadian. To drive the point home of how stupid you are, Rabbit, the calendar pages blow over you, showing you it's only November. He goes to apologize to Piglet. Congratulations, you actually did something decent for once. He gets to Piglet's house only to find a note that he's off to find a real groundhog. Congratulations, you useless idiot! Rabbit goes to search for Piglet. He thinks he's found Piglet, only to find it's just his hat on top of some snow. You really do have the IQ of the useless Canadian sometimes. You really do. Case in point, you brought home some snow and you melted it. I cannot fathom the level of stupidity from rabbits sometimes. Again, you're supposed to be the smart one.
Well, I feel very badly for saying it was spring in the middle of winter.
What? That? Oh, don't worry about that.
Oh my word, he's right behind you, you useless idiot! Also, why would anyone want to forgive you with your persistent antagonistic behavior?
Did you hear that, Piglet? Piglet forgives me. Piglet!
Honestly, moments like this are really cathartic for me. November 13th is the actual date in the film, making it 2 weeks before Thanksgiving, which was 2 weeks this past Thursday, to be exact, since Thanksgiving fell on the 27th in 2025. We get more of the title track, Seasons of Giving, with more footage from previous Pooh adventures, which I find really cute. Pooh heads to Christopher Robin to make him aware it's Thanksgiving. And this is the start of the Winnie the Pooh Thanksgiving, which was a television special.
And what are you thankful for, Pooh?
Me, what I'm most thankful for, it's my fellow members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I'm honestly tempted to arrange a visit stateside for Thanksgiving next year. And the next song now is, no joke, Hooray, Hooray! You've got to love when we get some wholesomeness like this. You just gotta love it. Piglet brings some haycorns. Gopher has some lemonade. Owl has some biscuits. Eeyore brings some thistles. Tigger has some hot chocolate ice cream. Oh, yes, please. And of course, Pooh has his honey. Because why not? It wouldn't be our favorite silly old bear if he didn't have his honey with him. Only for Rabbit to...
Honey, acorns, ice cream. My, no, this isn't right at all.
Would you please shut the hell up?
I thought...
I know, Pooh Bear, and that's why you have no business thinking.
Traditions this, customs that. This world does not revolve around you, Rabbit, and it never will. He then gives his so-called helpful guide to celebration organization, or, as I'm dubbing it, how to do things Rabbit's way, or we don't do it at all. Tigger and Eeyore get some cranberries. Gopher has to make a pumpkin pie dessert. Owl needs to clean the dinnerware. Rabbit puts himself in charge of the decorations, while Pooh and Piglet are in charge of getting the turkey.
What's a turkey?
This is a turkey.
Typical Rabbit. Absolutely typical. Pooh and Piglet search for the turkey, giving us the next song of the film, the Turkey Song. Back at Rabbit's, Owl's got a story to tell while washing the dishes, and Gopher has to work out how to process the pumpkins.
I'll blast!
Yeah, that was a bad idea because the house is now a mess. Also, jalapenos and turmeric? Hey, dumbass! Neither are part of the recipe. Also, 2000 centigrade? With a blowtorch? You're just asking for problems. Back with Pooh and Piglet, they start preparing a trap for the turkey while Tigger and Eeyore have difficulty finding cranberries because all they can find are blueberries. Even though blueberries are actually purple. Those who know, they know. If you know, you know. Next song, Barely Re-Roll Along. I do love the creativity for these titles sometimes. Pooh and Piglet have dug themselves into the ground. Oops. While Tigger and Eeyore head back, losing all their berries in the process. Pooh and Piglet think they've caught a turkey, only for it to be Tigger and Eeyore. Chaos ensues as Tigger and Eeyore burst out of the sack, causing the pumpkin pie to go flying. Please land on Rabbit's face.
Ooh, a spectacular catwalk.
Thank you. It all goes horribly wrong, and guess who's most frustrated with all this?
There is nothing to be thankful for.
Well, maybe if you weren't so obsessed with things being done your way, things would be different. Everyone's now miserable because of you. Pooh decides to gather everyone back to Rabbits to show that they made Thanksgiving happen for him, and it's also dedicated him thanks to Christopher Robin. Last song of the film, Our Thanksgiving Day. It definitely has that wholesome element about it, which is what I love about our adventures in the 100 Acre Wood. We get one last reprise of Seasons of Giving as we head into winter officially. Find Her Keeper, which is where we are introduced to Kessie for the first time, who would actually go on to be a character in the Book of Pooh TV series as well. I'll say this about Kanga's voice, and it's not very often I'm critical regarding casting choices. I'm not a fan of Tress as Kanga. Her voice feels too jarring compared to how soft Kath Soucie's voice is. And there's a reason that Kath was kept on for so long in that role. Tigger delivers a card from Kessie, leading to a flashback on how Rabbit saved Kessie.
There's a life that needs to be saved. There.
You're seriously concerned about one little carrot, which is why you're up in arms over a hot water bottle? You really do have, this bears repeating, you really do have the IQ of the useless Canadian sometimes. Rabbit tries to get a ladder only to be swept up by the wind, and the house gets wrecked. But at least everybody manages to save Kessie.
Rabbit, you saved her. Why, you're a hero.
Hero? Fiddly-dee! Look at my house. It's a mess.
Kessie, sorry.
Oh my God, you ungrateful swine! You just saved a bird from a winter storm, and you're more concerned about your house! This is why you're the worst character outside of Gopher in this franchise. Rabbit then claims he can look after Kessie all by himself.
You don't believe I can do it all alone, huh? Well, I don't need anyone.
Just... wow! A book in the face is so cathartic after Kessie makes it to the top of the bookshelf. Rabbit gets swept off his feet with looking after Kessie, and then... this.
Back, you monster!
What was that you said earlier?
You don't believe I can do it all alone, huh? Well, I don't need anyone.
Still don't need anyone? Pooh and Piglet ask if they can join Rabbit for breakfast, only for Rabbit to go insane. Da, 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 da.
Pooh, why is Rabbit always so grumpy around Kessie?
Better question, why is Rabbit always so grumpy when nothing goes his way? Kessie, honestly, is just so adorable. Case in point, laughing after dropping all the soap into the water. Am I a sadist for enjoying pain, suffering, and punishment being inflicted on Rabbit? Spring arrives and Kessie is helping Rabbit with the garden. Rabbit, unsurprisingly, is antagonistic yet again to Tigger. Once again, why am I not surprised? Because he pulled out all of Rabbit's carrots. He was helping you at least show a bit of gratitude. This allows Kessie to go playing with Tigger. Clears one tree, gets to the top of the second. Tree goes timber. Thankfully they're okay, even if it is oh, that's a long way down. Rabbit goes to try and save Kessie, only to drop her.
Murder!
Excuse me, Mr. Owl?
Yes. Now, where was I? Oh, right. Uncle Horatio.
Owl, you're supposed to be helping Kessie to fly. You useless idiot. Again, Owl is supposed to be one of the smart characters, and even you are exhibiting the 0 IQ level of the useless Canadian. Thankfully, Kessie's okay, and everybody gets off the fallen tree with Owl volunteering to teach Kessie how to fly properly.
You keep your big feathers out of this. Why, if she were meant to fly south, she'd have wings. Ha. So there.
She already has wings, you idiot. She is a bird!
You dumbass!
Rabbit then tries to keep Kenzie grounded as much as possible, defeating the whole purpose of being a bird to begin with. He tries to tell Kenzie a story only to see that she wants to fly. Congratulations, idiot! You have trapped her in a metaphorical cage. We make it back to autumn, completely skipping over summer for some reason. And Kenzie struggles to fly. This is what happens when you have a 0 IQ rabbit on the level of the useless Canadian, keeping you indoors and not letting her learn how to fly. Pooh decides to help Kenzie instead, only for Rabbit to decide to be a...
Don't hello me, Pooh Bear. You're deliberately teaching Kenzie to fly.
I've always had a dislike for Rabbit, even as a kid. But it's moments like this, now, that are why he is the absolute worst. He's the equivalent of Bella from the Tweenies. That's how much I hated Rabbit. And I've always hated Bella.
I just have to fly. It means everything to me.
Does it mean more than I do?
Stop being so selfish! Rabbit then takes the slingshot off Tigger, only to go flying. Now can you stay away from everyone now? Kenzie manages to save Rabbit, and yet Rabbit still acts like a selfish pig when he refuses to read Kenzie a bedtime story, breaking her heart in the process. Soon it is time for Kenzie to fly south for the winter. Rabbit sprints to Kenzie like there's no tomorrow with something in hand from the start of this episode, only to arrive too late.
I changed my mind. You can fly. Just don't go away, Kenzie.
I'll be blunt here. I cannot feel any sympathy for Rabbit at all with how antagonistic he is. Especially when he realizes it's too late to say goodbye to someone. Kes brings the carrot back to Rabbit and gets the chance to say goodbye to him.
You know, Piglet, sometimes people care too much. I think it's called love.
Yeah, Rabbit had a very funny way of showing it. Back in the present, they finish the tree, aside from the star. What they think is a falling star is actually Kenzie with said star for the top of the tree, finishing the season of giving with a Merry Christmas from everyone in the 100-Acre Wood to everyone watching at home, especially everyone here in the Kingdom of Isolation. Now, while this adventure is difficult to source, I'm very thankful for the adventures that we do have with our favourite silly old bear. Now, time for the scores. The story, I'm going to give an 8. Despite Rabbit's antagonistic behavior and the frustration he causes, the narrative delivers a touching message about friendship, growth, and the bittersweet nature of goodbyes. The emotional moments, especially Kenzie's determination and eventual reconciliation, make that particular episode memorable, even if some of the characters' actions are infuriating at times. It's a well-paced story with heart, deserving of a solid score. The characters, I'm going to give a 7 here. The characters are brought to life with a particular focus on Rabbit's antagonistic behavior, which stands as both a source of conflict and a bit of comic relief as well. Rabbit's selfishness and inability to show affection properly make him a memorable, if frustrating, figure, adding depth to the group dynamic. While some actions are exasperating, yikes, the emotional complexity of Kenzie's interactions with Rabbit and the supports of the other friends ensures the cast remains engaging and well-rounded, earning a respectable score. The visuals are also going to get a 7. The animation in these two episodes, Ground Piglet Day and Find Her Keeper, is charmingly consistent with the gentle storybook-style characteristic of the New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. Ground Piglet Day features warm, earthy tones that bring the 100-Acre Wood to life, with clever use of shadows and light to evoke the changing of seasons, and Piglet's timid perspective. In contrast, Find Her Keeper utilizes a more vibrant palette, particularly in scenes depicting Kenzie's flight and emotional farewells. The animators make excellent use of expressive character animation, especially in Rabbit's dramatic gestures and Kenzie's joyful flights, allowing the emotional beats to land effectively while not groundbreaking compared to more modern standards. The visuals are endearing and serve the story well, earning a solid score of 7. The soundtrack also gets a 7. The musical score is gently woven throughout both episodes, with the recurring use of Seasons of Giving providing a warm, cohesive thread between each story. The soundtrack subtly enhances the emotional moments without being intrusive, supporting both the heartfelt and humorous scenes. While the music may not be especially innovative, it perfectly matches the tone and spirit of the 100 Acre Wood, contributing to the overall charm and festive atmosphere. The consistent quality and thoughtful placement of the songs justify the solid 7. The legacy, gonna have to be blunt. Gonna have to do this. I'm gonna have to give it a 4. This doesn't have a critic score on Rotten Tomatoes, but it does have a score from the audience on Rotten Tomatoes with 67%, which I think is pretty respectable in my eyes. The 10th anniversary reissue included 2 additional episodes from the TV show, Magic Earmuffs and The Wishing Bear, adding a touch of nostalgia for longtime fans. The convenience of being able to watch the series on Disney Plus now means the stories are far more accessible to a wider audience, preserving their gentle charm for new generations. However, tracking down a Winnie the Pooh Thanksgiving remains an exercise in futility, as its scarcity makes it hardly worthwhile to pursue. All things considered, the legacy is mixed, fondly remembered, but not entirely complete, warranting a modest score of 4. So if you're wanting to watch anything from this, the episodes are on Disney Plus. Aside from Winnie the Pooh Thanksgiving, the film itself, Seasons of Giving, is not on Disney Plus, and honestly, it is not worthwhile trying to pursue it when you've got the episodes that were used for this film already on Disney Plus to begin with. So the score is an overall 66%. The story excels with its heartfelt exploration of friendship and emotional growth, supported by engaging characters, particularly Rabbit, whose flaws add both conflict and charm. The visuals are warm and expressive, capturing the spirit of the 100 Acre Wood, while the soundtrack gently enhances the atmosphere. However, the legacy of the series is somewhat diminished by the difficulty of accessing certain episodes and specials, despite the convenience of streaming and nostalgia of anniversary releases. In summary, the content is well-paced and charming, though not without its frustrations, resulting in a solid overall score of 66%, the same score as Kronk's New Groove and Pooh's Heffalump Halloween movie, but I'm putting this below those two for the reasons that I've already discussed. That is it for this Thanksgiving special for the Kingdom of Isolation. If you enjoyed it, hit the thumbs up and let me know in the comments as well what you are most thankful for this Thanksgiving season. The next episode we'll get to in just a moment, because if you want to stay up to date with the Kingdom of Isolation, you can hit the subscribe button, click the bell, turn on notifications so you don't miss when an episode goes live. I've also got a passes page where you can see uncut episodes of the Kingdom of Isolation. And the next episode, we're going to be heading back to Native America, I think, as we look at
Brother Bear 2.
But until then, make each moment count, and I'll see you guys next time in the Kingdom of Isolation. And a very happy Thanksgiving season to all.